welcome to our other podcast, What You've Been Watching, What You Have Been Playing. I don't know. But anyway, my name's Dallas, this is Alex, that's Lena, David, we make up players, we film this, let's get into it.
It's definitely not right after the one we just did, because we're in different seats.
Yeah, we're in different seats. Might be the same clothes, but different seats. Who do we want to start with? You seem to be, very lively.
So let's start with David.
All right, let's...
I think we should start with Alex.
David did a lot of talking last time. Let's start with Helena.
Me?
Yes.
Oh.
You're the only one that has... Oh, no, David has a list, too.
David also has a list.
You're the other person with a list.
Okay.
Go ahead. What have you been watching and or playing, Elena?
I hope there's boats in it. That's all I'm going to say.
Since we last met.
I don't think there's boats.
B. Dang it. This whole time, I thought that was an O.
No, it's an E.
Oh.
So, I beat Persona 5.
Oh.
I mean, I boat Persona 5.
I was like, that must have been a really cool game.
I think that happened over the break.
Game.
What,
yeah, I think last time we had talked, you were, at the final thing or something,
yes.
but you hadn't beaten it.
Okay.
So, besides Dallas, who here has beat Persona 5?
Oh, really?
You beat it.
Did you?
Yeah,
okay.
I beat it a long time ago.
Oh, okay. You haven't beat it yet?
No.
I don't want to talk about Persona 5 because I have a really stupid story about what happened.
Oh.
Wait,
Oh.
no, you gotta hear
I
this.
need
So what
Yeah,
happened?
yeah.
a stupid story.
Because I
I
did.
cannot remember if I ever told
Okay.
any of y'all this story
No.
before. This happened to me in Mass Effect 3. I have this weird OCD anxiety thing, right, when it comes to certain aspects of video games. And most of the time I can get over it, whatever.
Like Gauntlets, huh? And you
No.
made fun of me.
I don't have that problem. So, pretty much once I got into the game, I knew you could have a relationship with the character. I actually read you can have a relationship with all the characters at the same time, and then if Valentine's comes around,
He's
they all get
even
mad at you.
playing.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Anyways, pretty much from the start, I decided I was going to have a relationship with Ann, or Anne. They say it on in the game. And there were different characters, and I always have this attachment to characters you meet early in the game. I always want them in my party because you've been with them since the beginning and all that. And I think that's partially why she was the first female character in the game. Blah 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 blah. Anyways, I had maxed out certain characters, at which point you can answer certain questions and then have a relationship with them, and I had shot down all of those. Then I met Hifumi. She was the Shogo player.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I just really liked her character. And I was like, oh, I wonder if you could have a relationship with her. So I looked it up online, and you can. And I was like, man, I don't know. I don't have to worry about it right now. And I accidentally completed Ann's storyline. And it came to the point where she asks, whatever the question is, and your response is, you'll always have me, or you'll always have, our group of friends. Uh-huh. And I just shut the PS4 off. The exact same thing happened to me in Mass Effect 3, where the character I had a relationship with in Mass Effect 2 basically says, so what's going on? And you have the opportunity to answer. I panicked and shut my Xbox off.
Oh my god.
I know it's super stupid, because it doesn't matter, obviously. It's just a game. None of this is real.
No,
Whatever,
I
blah,
want it
blah,
to
blah.
be real life because I want you to just be like two girls and you go the power button
Yes.
It was just
still
stop,
there.
turn around, walk away.
I love you. Pause.
Yeah.
Pause right now.
Yeah.
Hard pause.
Hold on that.
Pause.
So it's a weird... it's more of an OCD thing.
So
'cause-
basically you can't choose. You have to choose between the two women you love.
You can't choose, or you're
Persona.
afraid of commitment in virtual.
I mean, should we get your wife in on this?
There's a certain permanence to it that bothers me, I think. I hate when video games make you make those hard choices. And the thing is, and especially in Persona 5, it's all turn-based. So it's
teenagers.
like, I
They're
literally
like,
turned
I
it
like
off
you.
knowing I
You
can
like
just turn
me.
it back
Oh,
on.
that's it. Like,
And
there's
Persona
no-
5 will be right there.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, it's the same, I don't know. Because, for example, the Telltale games, like Walking Dead and all those, they have a quick time limit. So you got to make your decisions as you're doing
right.
things. And so that forces me to quick make the judgment on what I'm going to do.
But this kind of lets you.
But this,
do it
I just stared at the screen and was like, this is tomorrow's problem. Shut it off.
I've had those. Don't worry about that. I have, but I don't know if that intensely that I've had them.
It's stupid. And I'll admit, I actually did go back and finally just say yes or whatever and just move on with it. But I haven't played the game since
So
then.
you've on?
So you chose on.
Mhm.
Okay.
I played it a little bit more and then I just haven't gone back to it yet. But yeah, that threw me off and I stopped playing for like a week or whatever. So
That's intense.
And now it's just an issue of, can I sit down and play? We'll get into it. One of these other games where I can play for like an hour or two. Where Persona, if I sit down and want to play for like 3 or 4 hours at a time, and I just haven't had the chance to do that. So,
How far did you get as far as dungeons?
I beat the 5th one finally. I think last time we talked, I was stuck.
Fifth
in the
one was
middle
which
of it.
one?
That was the spaceship.
That was the spaceship
Oh,
with the
okay.
fast food, and I
Okay.
played enough of the
Wow.
story to where her dad was messed up by the other guy in the
Okay.
Shadow Realm or whatever it's called, the palace. So like, we know something's gone wrong, and I think I'm right in the middle of that story chunk, and I had saved.
Okay.
So,
All right.
Starts to get good then.
Well, yep.
Yeah.
but yeah.
Well,
So,
after a while.
did you like Persona 5 as a whole and the ending
did.
and everything?
Yeah.
Not
No.
so much.
It's for another podcast.
It is. I really
Well,
want to
yeah,
do.
I'll hurry up and beat it. Maybe the 3 of us will do like a Persona
do it.
5 spoilers podcast. So
Already trying to get rid of me.
It's like, hey, hurry up and beat it, okay? So you can,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dallas already beat it.
I did.
Oh, that's
I
right,
got through
you
all
did.
those dungeons. Like,
you're like,
what? But I can answer the love questions really easily. What else have you been playing?
So I started. Not Persona. Not another Persona. I started Final Fantasy 12 after that.
I'm sorry, what?
Final Fantasy
Okay.
12. Zodiac Age. And I was very upset because I bought it on the store. And then while I was downloading it, Matt was like, why didn't you go get the physical copy? Didn't know there was a physical copy.
Oh.
It was too late by the
Steelbook and
by
everything.
by the time you start downloading, that voids your return on the PlayStation Store. Well, I'm like, well, just spent $60 on this game and I can't return it, so I guess I just gotta keep it on here until I beat it.
So is it more expensive? I'm assuming
It
it's
was
more
only a
expensive.
$40
Like the
game.
physical?
I don't know. I can't remember how much.
oh, okay. I was
Whatever
like,
it was,
Okay.
it was probably
It's
cheaper
normally the same
physical.
price. Okay.
I wonder if I
Really?
could
But
have
you
gotten
can find them.
used.
Yeah, sometimes you can find them
Yeah, it was
cheaper.
stupid. I just really
physical.
wanted to start a game right now, and then it was like, okay, well, you gotta wait 6 hours until you download it, and I was like, oh, well, I messed up. So, but anyway, I started that eventually, and I'm like just before where I left off originally, and I was like, wow, I did not get far at all when I originally played this game. So, I haven't touched it in a while.
Liking it?
Yeah, it's all right. The changes are interesting, but I was having issues with the leveling stuff just because I was like, what am I supposed to do? Because I knew you could pick 2 classes per person, and it doesn't tell you if it's permanent, and it's just like, pick one.
Yeah, that's new because
And I
the
was
original
like,
one didn't have that.
No, it just had you pick like.
Well, you had to. This one you
Squares.
get to pick the choose.
Yeah.
You get to decide like what they're.
So that
Have you
was
played it too?
that was
Yeah.
nerve wracking for me. That was one of those choices where I'm like,
So like the original, because I beat the original one. So the original like each character had 2 skill sets and that was it. This one you get to choose where they start. So you can have the main character be like a
I don't
magic
remember
user,
that being-
whereas in the first one he was like the thief, and you had to like that was it as the only class. So this one you get to choose how you do that. So
So yeah, I kind of messed around with that a little bit, and I love the fast forward function. Amazing, it's great. It makes it go by so much.
I heard that was one of the best new features.
It is. It is. You can grind so easily, and it's just like, yay! Now I have lots of LP that I can spend on other things.
I'm sorry, LP?
License points. So in the game, this is sort of like this game specific, I guess. So you have to buy licenses to get new skills or to wear new items or use new weapons or whatever. So license points are what you get from beating enemies.
Okay.
So the more enemies you beat, depending on what they are, you get so many license points per enemy, and then they just rack up, and then you can spend them on skills. That's all.
Okay.
Cool. Other than that, I don't have much to say about it, to be honest. But it looks nice. I really like the voices in that game. It's kind of one of the things
it was
that I
good.
was like, I don't know. Anyway. Overwatch, I kind of started playing that again.
For any, like, special time event?
No, I think I just kind of wanted to play it, but now Halloween's back, and I hate Junkenstein's Revenge. I hate it. I hate it, and it's like the only game on arcade, and I hate it, and it's like it makes me not want to play.
So when they do these new, they do the events now, and the Halloween one started last week. They've started adding special modes to go along with that holiday, and Junkenstein's Revenge is basically you and 3 friends defending a castle gate against like waves of enemies. And I don't know. I mean, I think it's fun, but
I hadn't played the new one because I played last year.
Mm-hmm.
Are you
It's the
still?
It's the same.
So you're still stuck with the same 4 characters?
You
There's-
can pick. There's 2 different sets now.
yeah, there's the one that was exactly like last
Original.
year, and then there's an endless mode where it considers it beaten if you make it to wave 12, I
12.
think. But then it keeps going. It's how long you can survive. It gets crazy.
That
But
was
that
kind of
mode
fun.
gives you 8 characters to choose from. So the same 4 from last year, and then they added Torbjorn, Genji, Zenyatta, and I don't remember who the 4th one was, but they added
May.
4 new.
No.
No.
I don't remember.
I'm just trying to think who got new skins. That's why.
Oh, Red.
McCree has a
McCree
skin.
was already there.
Yeah.
But he has a skin now, so
Yes.
just dress him up in that
I
skin
don't
now.
remember who else. I don't know.
I don't know. But yeah, so they evolved it, and they added more achievements.
Okay.
But, yeah.
I like being Genji in that. That mode, I will give it that it makes me pick a character I don't usually play. So it's like that's sort of helping me open up to new characters because I feel like I need to play more than just Mei and Farah.
Right.
So like I had fun with Genji and like Hanzo and stuff like that. So I've been playing that because I really want those skins.
Mhm.
I got the Cthulhu Zenyatta skin. That's
Mhm.
pretty great.
And they did the same thing with the Olympic that they did with the Olympic event, where the old skins now are discounted, so you can get them for like the epics for 1,000 and all the other stuff for a lot cheaper.
I
So.
see. Well, I have enough for May's skin.
Mm-hmm.
So if I don't get it by the end of the event, I'm just gonna buy it with my gold
Right.
because I really want hers. Other than that, not much else there on Overwatch. But I started Cuphead today.
Mm-hmm.
Like before I got here. I was late for my parents' dinner because I thought they were like, let's meet at 7, but it was you guys that wanted to meet at 7. So I was sitting there and it was 6 something and Mom's like, where are you? And I was like, oh no. So I got like 5 minutes into Cuphead. I'm sort of looking forward to it, but also I am I'm probably going to suck at that game really hard. That's all I have to say about that.
Okay. So, wait, have you been playing any other games right now?
Yes.
Oh, you
I
have?
have 2 more games.
Okay. Well, because I want to save the movies for later.
Okay, I'll do that later.
Yeah.
That's fine. Another game is Doki Doki Literature Club. So that's a game that came out on Steam recently that came out free. It's sort of like a dating sim, but it has some apparently psychological horror stuff to it.
Nice.
And I didn't start it. I kind of watched Matt play like maybe 20 minutes into it. Man, that game, I'm not going to say anything except that I was screaming a lot on that game.
Good screaming, bad screaming, frustrating screaming.
Bad screaming.
Ooh.
But like it was freaking you out.
Yeah. Oh man, that's a freaky game. It's pretty great. I like that I was screaming on it in a bad way.
All right.
I don't really want to say anything about it other than you should play it because it's free and you might as well. And it takes you 2 hours max to play it. Especially for people that have played a lot of dating sims that kind of understand how things work in a dating sim. It's one of those games where it's like you've played a lot and you know the tropes. Now this is a game that kind of plays on those tropes. It does a little metagaming and fourth wall breaking and all that kind of stuff. But I think you can still enjoy it and also be freaked out by it, even if you don't. So, play it. Anyway, don't read reviews, don't read any info, just play it.
I think I had read something about it. Just
Yeah.
real,
And the trailer won't spoil you, and I think a lot of the comments on Steam are pretty cool about being like, don't read it, just, what are you doing reading comments? Just go play this game.
Right.
The last game is not a video game. Me and my friends went to Austin yesterday, and we didn't have a plan, so we went to Dragon's Lair, which is a comic shop also in Austin. I know we have one here, but
Yeah, I've been over here.
they have a big table of just like demo games, and Matt wanted to get the Dark Souls game but it was there, so we sat down and we played it. And it's pretty fun. It took a long time for setup and rules because it was just this big, thick booklet of like... So, of course, I'm there reading everything, and they're just there like, okay, when do we get to start? And I'm just like, I have to read all these things. Like, we're not going to understand what's going on. So, yeah, once we set up, it was actually pretty easy to get into. But there's these big tiles, and you have little figures, and you have cards, and then you have tokens. So it's like a lot of different elements that you have to like figure out what goes where. You have a character sheet and like all this kind of stuff. So that was pretty cool, actually. That was a lot of fun. That game is pretty expensive. I think I found it at the ThinkGeek store like originally for like $120.
Wow.
Big old box, but it has a lot of stuff in it, so that's why.
Right.
I think it's worth that price point if you compare it to other tabletop games.
Is there like a dungeon master who runs it, or is
No,
it okay?
It's a 4-player game. I think you can. There's apparently like a campaign mode that they go into at the back of the booklet. So that's pretty neat. Like I think you can run it like a dungeon if you wanted to. But yeah, that one was pretty fun, pretty neat. Cool. I think we might get it. If we do, maybe we can play a game. That'd be pretty neat. And since I know the rules, you guys don't have to.
Everybody looks at me like, please, please
Dallas?
do it.
And since I know the rules, it'll be easier. It's not going to be like us all trying to understand. I can just be like, okay, this is what you do. It's much easier to explain it than it is reading through an hour of rules. Like my voice was dead by the end of it because I was just reading all of those rules. That's it.
For games?
Yes.
Cool. David.
Yo.
What have you been watching or playing? Excuse me.
Playing.
We'll go to watching a little bit later.
I wanted to start with this. Alina mentioned it. I've been waiting a long time for it. Cuphead came out. I haven't played it a ton, but I've definitely played it. I bought it when it came out. I don't normally do this. I went to GameStop to buy the card that had the digital code on it. Because if you buy it at GameStop, it came with a soundtrack CD.
Oh,
so
neat.
It's like, I could pay $20 on the Xbox
cool.
and go to GameStop and pay $20 and get the little soundtrack. It looks like a vinyl record. It actually has like the little ridges carved into the top of the CD and everything. But anyways.
I wonder if you could play it. No, probably don't do that.
No, I don't think I would work on a record. Just
actually, don't do that.
No, you can't. They sell them on Amazon too. The blank CDs that look like records.
The game is gorgeous, first off. I mean, you get that from the trailers. It looks like the old-timey cartoons and all that. It is hard, but it's a lot of fun. And it's funny because sometimes with certain games, I get so frustrated at a certain point. For the most part, I haven't found myself getting that frustrated. It's kind of like, all right, let's just do this again. And it's real quick. Like, especially on the boss battles, it's real quick. You die, hit retry, starts, you're just right back into it, so you can keep trying it. The platformer levels are a little more frustrating. There's each island, at least I'm on the second island. Each island so far I think has 5 boss battles and 2 like platforming levels. The boss battles are a ton of fun. The platforming levels aren't bad. They're just, I don't know, some of the stuff feels a little frustrating on that a little bit more. But again, and there's usually like a mini type boss at the very end. But they're not too hard.
Is this the game you were playing before
Yes.
Alex and I walked in?
Yeah. And yeah, so I mean, it is challenging. If you like shooters and platformer type games, I would definitely recommend it. I think once you get into it, you'll find it's hard, but it's not too hard. It is, my only thing I would say, it is a little bit of die and learn, where it's like, these bosses have like multiple forms.
I expected that.
Yeah, so it's like you figure out how to beat the first form. Okay, now you do the second form. You're gonna die 2 or 3 times before you figure that one out. Then you get to the next one. Yeah. And one thing I do think for the most part is pretty cool is it's random. So for example, I fought this. I forget her name, but her level looked like a cupcake, and you go in and she's like this dessert-looking girl, and she runs into this castle, and then she shoots some sort of dessert out at you, and you have to fight against that dessert. You beat that one, another dessert. It's random as to which ones come out and in what order. So depending, I think there's 5 different forms, but there's only 4 different stages, so you won't always fight a certain form. And little jelly beans come out after the first one, so like they technically get harder with each stage. So at a certain point you're like, okay, I hope I get the waffle first because he's harder, but because it's the first stage I won't have all the other little things fighting me, and you know what I mean. So the only frustration is, I think y'all saw me playing the dragon level. with the clouds are random. So you have to be able to keep jumping on the clouds while you're fighting him. Every once in a while, it's only happened like twice. All of a sudden, the clouds, since they're random, I'll be on this cloud, and then the next set of clouds is way over here. I can't make the jump. Like, it's physically impossible for me to make the jump. So I will take damage because I'll hit the thing. It doesn't kill you, but it bounces you back up. And that's the only annoying thing about some of the stuff being random is sometimes it's just impossible. You're going to get hit, and you can't do anything about it. But overall, I really like it. The soundtrack's really cool. I had y'all listen to the little... It's kind of like a jazzy 30s... swing almost. I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, so I'm liking it. I recommend it. Yeah. But on the opposite side of that, I also got Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. So it's definitely a bit of a disappointment. The gameplay itself is solid. You know, you can get into a lot of systems. It plays well, competitive, all that. But so I played through the story mode, first thing I always do. And compared to Injustice, first off, Injustice is like way up here. Marvel vs. Capcom is way down here. Tekken 7 would be like in the middle somewhere. You know, it's not very good. Now, I've seen some people say like, why bother, blah, blah, blah. Check your brain at the door. You'll still have fun with this. Like, it's just crazy. You know, they do silly things like Umbrella from Capcom and AIM from Marvel form together to make Aimbrella. And they're experimenting on people like zombies, like Umbrella always did, except instead of like the T-virus, they're using the symbiote from Venom to turn these people into like these symbiote zombies and stuff.
Okay.
So stuff like that, it's silly, but it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
And like MODOK from Marvel is in charge, and he's got Nemesis from Capcom under his control. You know, all this kind of ridiculous stuff. It's just the story's not that well fleshed out, and actually my biggest problem with it probably is the story really showcases how poor the character designs actually are. Like Spider-Man looks like he's been taking steroids. Like he's like this, his shoulders are like out to here and stuff. And I'm like, he's Spider-Man. He's like a slim guy. You know, every single male character is just like huge and ripped for no reason, even if it doesn't matter what character they are.
Like us.
Unrealistic expectations for men.
And some people have complained about the faces and stuff. Some of them are pretty bad. Especially...
That's my muscle.
Okay.
Lena's like, yeah.
Yeah. That's called children.
Oh my goodness, I hit my hand.
But especially after having played like... Injustice. You know, the lip sync and the faces are so good. In Marvel vs. Capcom, it's like PS2. Their mouth's just like...
man.
So like they're talking and it's just moving
What
like
is up
this.
with that?
And it just feels... And I know they didn't have like as big a budget as like Street Fighter. I mean, the Street Fighter characters look better in Street Fighter 5 than they do in Marvel vs. Capcom. It's just like... Obviously, this was not...
I don't understand why they don't have the budget.
Yeah, I don't know. Capcom... I don't know. So I haven't played it that much. I played the story, beat it, played online a little bit, and that's been about it. Like... I keep going back to Injustice and stuff. So, which, speaking of which, go ahead.
I did hear there was going to be a Monster Hunter character.
So that's the only kind of cool thing. There's a part where you go, and I'll admit the backgrounds do look really good in this game. There's a part in the story where you go to, what do you remember the name of the like land from Monster Hunter? They combine that with Wakanda, and that's what it's called. Mm-hmm. And Black Panther's in charge, but they have a girl from Monster Hunter as like his right hand, whatever. But there's a part where you fight as Ryu against Hulk on the backdrop of this Wakanda mixed with Monster Hunter looking land. That looked really cool.
That's neat.
And yeah, she is going to be one of the Black Panther, and I think they're just calling her Monster Hunter or something. But the two of them are the first DLC characters, which I thought that was kind of neat. And she looks really cool.
I heard she plays like a Monster Hunter character.
I haven't played her yet. I haven't been on. So I think that DLC may be out now, but I haven't gotten on to play it yet. But her design looks really cool. Like I don't know if it's because she's just an original character for the game or what, but yeah, she looked really cool. So, but yeah, I don't know.
I feel like people who haven't played Monster Hunter are going to have trouble playing her.
Maybe.
Because, I mean, the fighting style is going to be like Monster Hunter. So I heard there's like, people are like, oh, there's so much like, not lag, but like, when she uses the great sword and stuff, like there's time between where you can do swings.
She's not
like
gonna be super fast.
That just sounds like Monster Hunter. Like,
right.
It's about timing for her, yeah.
Cool. Yeah, and I do want to check out the DLC characters and all that. I think there's gonna be 6 total. But yeah, just overall disappointed.
That sucks.
Not as good. And like I said, I've been playing a lot of Injustice too. I keep going back to Injustice. Part of that is their stupid, addicting loot box system where you can do all the events and you get more items and all that.
Damn loot boxes.
I know. We mentioned on the podcast, so they've released Black Mana, who I actually liked quite a bit. I was surprised I liked him as much. And Raiden. Raiden has probably the best, I guess they call them super moves in this, but they're big, like ultimate flashy move. He teleports them to a Mortal Kombat stage, hits them a couple times, like bounces into them with his electricity, lifts them up in the sky, turns into a giant electricity dragon, and you're up in front of the moon, and he turns into the dragon, so then it shaped just like the Mortal Kombat logo, and then he like grabs them in his jaws and slams them down to the ground. It's probably one of the coolest looking like big super moves. My favorite thing though is it comes with the Black Lightning skin. It turns him into a DC character called Black Lightning, and I was like, are they going to leave it the same? Is it because he's not going to use dragons and all that? So his whole thing, instead of a dragon, first off, he doesn't teleport you to a Mortal Kombat stage, just bounces you around, lifts you up in the sky, and then he creates a giant fist out of electricity. And it swirls around, grabs them, slams them into the ground. And they also changed his finishing thing. Raiden, at the end, does like an electricity thing, and a dragon swirls around him, and then he throws it at the screen. Same idea, but again, it's a fist, and he swings it around, and the hand like reaches out towards you as the ending thing or whatever. So I thought it was cool that they actually changed his big super move or whatever. And I will say, I like Catwoman. Catwoman is probably my favorite character. I've maxed her out. They keep giving me whips. You have 5 different equipable things, and her weapon is a whip, so you can change out her whip. 90% of the whips look exactly the same. Like, they have very slight changes that you're not going to notice. And it constantly gives me whips. And I want, like, new masks and stuff. I don't want a whip. But that's the problem with these loot box things. You don't always get you what you want, which I'm sure Alex will tell us all about that in a minute.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
But, yeah, so I'm still playing...
Like a horrible, horrible problem to have, though.
But I'm playing Injustice more than I'm playing Marvel vs. Capcom, so... And it's been out a lot longer. But we already kind of talked about Overwatch. I've been playing that mostly for the Halloween stuff. So, when you have kids, your time is more limited. And where my child likes to play is downstairs. I have a PS3 hooked up there. So sometimes when he's playing by himself, I can actually get a little gaming in on the PS3. I've been playing Jak and Daxter. For those who don't know, those are old PS2 games that they remastered in HD and put on the PS3. And back in the day, I had played the original on the PS2, but I hadn't played any of the others. So I played the first one, 100% completed it, which I also did on the PS2. So I got the platinum and all that on the PS3. Now I'm working my way through Jak 2, and I forgot about what a big difference Jak 1 and 2 are. Because Jak 1 was very much a colorful, cartoony platformer. You fought the little monsters and stuff, but it wasn't anything major. And then I think because of the success of like Grand Theft Auto at the time and everything, they did a big open world city. You have guns now. Everything's hardcore. The characters like use foul language, which the first one was super family friendly. And it's funny because in the first one, the main character never talks, sort of that silent protagonist. You had the sidekick who's talked for you and all that. And at the very beginning of the game, picks up right where the first game left off. You get sucked into this other world, you get separated, and your main character gets captured, your sidekick escapes. Then all of a sudden, it's like 2 years later. Your main character has been like tortured and experimented on this whole time, and the sidekick finally finds him, shows up, and it's funny, he finds him on the table, and he's like slapping him in the face, and he's like, come on, Jak, come on, just say something. I know you don't talk a lot, but say something. And your character like sits up, and he's got like this deep Batman voice, and he's like, I'm gonna kill that guy. And you're like, whoa. What? And it's like, it goes like, it's like super like dark. He's got a goatee now, it's like supposed to be all hardcore. Like I said, a lot of people remember this from like, back in the day. It's a weird tone shift for the game, and the game's not quite as good. It has this open world sense, but there's like nothing going on. You just have to travel from mission to mission, and it takes forever, and there's no fast travel. The gun combat stuff, the aiming is not very good. It's like all these new things they threw in there, and they didn't know what they were doing yet. But they make fun of the whole not talking thing a couple times in the beginning of the game too. Like Jack is talking to somebody and Dexter's like, man, he just won't shut up anymore. Stuff like that. But it's fun to go back and play those old games too. I don't know if I'm going to platinum this one because
I think I touched a little bit of 2. I don't remember playing the first one. I don't know if 2 was like a demo or something, but I remember vividly like playing that.
Yeah.
At some point.
And it's fun. It's not bad. It's just the first one I really enjoy. It's a lot of fun to run around with or whatever. But anyways, that's pretty much it. Like I said, I've kind of been bouncing around all those, playing Overwatch every night, just to earn more boxes and stuff. So. Okay.
Cool. All right. So this brings us to you, Alex.
Oh boy.
What have you been playing?
I have no room for my legs. Sorry. I'm
I'm
like contorted back here. It's just a mess under the table.
Welcome to my world.
I know. How do you have legs and sit here? I don't know. So I've been playing Destiny 2. So I mean, I like it. I do enjoy it. I have some issues with the loot system. That's all I'll say. I don't want to get into it. That's a whole another topic that we can talk about. But I have been playing this game like crazy. Like they have, it's the Iron Banner, which is a competitive event. It's like for a week, and they have like special weapons and armor and all that fun stuff. So I've been playing way too much of that. Like, and I never played like player versus player, so like it gets people online ever on the first one. I've been playing this one like crazy. I don't know why. Like I do enjoy it, but I don't. So it's one of those games where it's like, I despise this game. I need gauntlets, Bungie, if you're hearing me. This is my plea. Just give me a pair of damn gauntlets, please. Just one pair, so I'll be fashionable. My Guardian needs to be fashionable. That's all I need.
Because you're trying to collect a complete like set of
armor.
Yeah,
so that's the way it is.
Missing.
Yes, yeah. And I've gotten everything else multiple times. I've gotten the weapons, which I didn't care about. Yeah. Every single one of those. Like, so best kind of case scenarios to get like, they're like, hey, if you can get 10 of these, basically like you get tokens for beating the match, right? And if you get 20 tokens, you turn them in and they give you like a loot drop, but it's all random, right? So it doesn't matter. Everything's random. So you could turn in 3 of them and get 3 of the same weapon, like just back to back to back. And it's anyway. So they're like, hey, if you do 10, like, good job. So I've turned in 35 of these.
Oh my god!
And it ends tomorrow. I'll probably turn in another 10 by the time it's all done. And I have yet to get gloves. Like it's like. Yeah, it's kind of like an abusive relationship. Not that I know what that's been like, and actually that's not a funny joke, but it's like just like I feel like I'm done. I've finally gotten the strength and the courage to be like, I'm done. Like I'm gonna turn the game off, and it's like, do you want these? Do you want these? Whoosh, you can't have these. And it just goes just enough to bring me back in, and it's like it's gonna Bungie's like, Destiny's like, I'm gonna change. I'm gonna give you your gauntlets, and they're like, not today. Just play 80 more matches, and it's hurting me. But I can't stop doing it.
You need to buy the equipment so that you could stream, so everyone can share in your misery.
Oh, it's horrible.
Good,
Yeah, it's horrible. And to make things worse, there's a guy I play with got all 5 sets, or he got all 5 for his character in 15. So think about that. He got 15 drops and got all the armor. I've done 35 and have still not got. I could outfit a small army with that much armor that I've gotten. Like, we could all have a character, minus the gloves.
That's it, but everyone's hands would be bare.
Yes, and it's just like, just give me one.
So you haven't gotten any gauntlets at all?
No, not at all. I had another buddy that doesn't care because he hasn't really had a chance to play, and goes, oh, that's all I've gotten were gauntlets. I think I deleted them because I got like 5 of them. And I'm like, he goes, and I'm like, well, if that's all you needed, maybe you'd care.
I'm really sorry.
Maybe you have to stop caring about gauntlets.
I've made a deal with myself, much like Cuphead. It's like a deal with the devil. If the thing ends tomorrow, so I have a day. Yeah, so I'm feeling kind of sick, so I may have to stay home tomorrow.
And that's officially online now.
Yeah. Anyway, that's a joke. I'll be at work.
Nobody watches this.
Nobody watches this.
Except for our favorite people.
Yeah. Nobody I work with.
And now Alex is boss.
Yeah. I have the days. But like, if I cannot get these pair of gauntlets by tomorrow, I'm going to have to just put the game up.
I want you to text me one way or the other.
Oh, I will. Because, no, I've already said, like, Yes, like, it's probably a good thing.
I was gonna say, like, after tomorrow,
Yes.
space is a good thing.
Yes.
In
Oh,
any
yeah.
relationship.
Yes, I'm going to be breaking
Just-
up. Like,
just a little bit.
I'm
you
going to
know?
be like, Destiny, it's not you, it's me.
But
Like,
it's you.
I have to go wash my hair, Destiny. I cannot play with you for multiple... I've heard all of these. I can't.
Oh.
I can't.
Oh,
I can't.
This one's a very real
That was a
thing.
joke. Oh, I have one in my mind right now. I can't share. So yeah, I'm done.
Oh,
So
yes,
I will-
please write
is
it
that-
down.
So
write
it's
it down.
just it's been Destiny, all Destiny. Nothing
It's
else.
all been Destiny. That's it. That's all I got time for. I hate Destiny. I'm done.
You need to jump back on the Overwatch, get some of the Halloween stuff.
Yeah, more loot box.
He's got to get the gauntlets first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead. No good.
Yeah. And then I'm gonna read that. It's gonna be
No,
great.
you can't.